It's a little tart.
It's pretty good.
I like it.
Yeah. It's pretty good.
Where'd you get it? What's in it? I really feel
There's one question at a time.
glad I fucking swapped these glasses.
Yeah, it's okay.
You fell for the oldest trick in the book!
I knew he would do that.
Never get into a battle of wits with a Sicilian! If you know, you know. My neighbor's Inigo Montoya. He killed my father. Prepare to die. Stop saying that! It's like most of the girls I slept with in high school. No. Stop saying that! It's a joke. Don't shoot me for it. Oof.
Did you just offend yourself?
Well, one of the things we're going to talk about,
Yeah.
we should really do a moment for that. Here's to you, Charlie.
What a week last week. You know what's wild about the week last week?
It was last week.
It was. And it was a whole week.
Holy shit.
No, a week. Holy week. There was
religious?
there were so many other things that happened that normally would have been like, yeah, this, and this. It was so overshadowed.
Oh, hell yeah.
By the Charlie Kirk assassination. Like, just a quick rundown of some of it. I think the same day of the assassination, there was also a school shooting, another school shooting.
Yeah, I heard about that.
There was also a professor that was found, I think this is Friday, was found hacked to bits. Yeah.
I didn't know about that.
No?
I know about the senator or the congressman or whatever getting doused in gasoline and set a fire on his porch.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah. Oh.
Jeez. When did that happen?
Hold on. I'll find out for you. Politician set on fire in Virginia.
What do we got?
Oh, no. Apparently this was back in July. In late July 2025, Danville City Councilman Lee Vogler was the target of an attack where he was doused with a flammable liquid and set on fire by a man named Michael Buck Hayes.
It's just a late news story that's come out. That's happened before. We've covered things before. Be like, what the fuck? And I look, it's like
People getting set on fire, that's nothing.
April. What's wild is like that's kind of the position we're in right now. Like,
it's normalized.
I guess it's just I don't know if it's normalized, but just the week specifically last week was just so heavy. Like it was like fucking shit like that. It got swept under the rug almost. It is, isn't it?
I think it's better with every sip.
Yeah. You see 2 of me yet? I see 3 of you. Yes. Oh, I put it in both.
That'd be the worst party game. You go there and everyone's like, yeah, we're going to get drunk, we're going to have fun, and we're going to play a new game. Oh, yeah?
Reverse Russian roulette.
It's called rope rape. What? Everybody get a drink. Okay. Down it really fast.
You wouldn't stop at the name of the game?
Hell no.
What'd you call something else?
Rape rope?
That's better.
All right.
Get the worst out of the way
Everybody,
first.
drink your glass really quick. All right. Everybody's been drugged with Rohypnol. Mine's already kicking in, apparently. Whoever rapes who first before passing out wins.
Thud, 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 thud.
Wait, what is it? Futurama. When the black bar goes out, Bender unplugs the sensor bar. Oh, they're in the baseball when Leela's playing beanball.
I don't remember that episode.
He unplugs it, and all the black bars go away. And, of course, the Hispanic goes, I win. Not even the black dude. It was the Hispanic dude.
Right. But, anyway, some of the stuff that, like, happened last week, like Nepal, that fell. That was kind of ongoing over the last, few weeks, though.
Yeah, it's been an ongoing thing.
And that was due to their censorship online. And
Yep.
The social media censorship, and the people went, I don't fucking think so. And whereas things like that happen here, people just bitch online like us. What happened there is like, no. And they went out and fucking torched the Capitol.
They forced him to resign. He quit. They dance and One of the things Charlie Kirk always preached about, that's what the right to bear arms, that whole Second Amendment was founded for. Right. So that when a government became tyrannical, you had the ability to overthrow it.
And honestly, I always see it as the Second Amendment protects the First Amendment. Because if you ask me, the First Amendment is the most important. Like, your right to bear arms, that's fine. But if you can't talk, it doesn't matter. Like, if you can't say, hey, something's fucked up here, we need to look at this and at least get a few people to turn their head, you can have all the guns in the world. It ain't going to make a difference. But yeah, RFK, the vaccine info request, that was blocked.
Yep, I heard that again.
Yeah.
Apparently.
And then he started firing some of the cabinets because you're not doing your fucking job. And then...
Yeah, because he's the head of it.
Yeah.
And they're like, no. He goes, so you're not doing your job? They go, no, we're not going to. Then you're fired.
Imagine going to your job, and they're like, I need you to do this. You go, fuck, no, I'm not doing that. And then you get fired, and half the people in the country are like, well, that's bullshit. And like, well, no, that's kind of happens at work. If you got a job, you'd figure that out.
Especially if the function of your job is to process requests, and you refuse to do the work. Peace out, bitch.
Yeah. And then the guy there that you killed the Ukrainian woman.
Yep, on the subway.
Yep. And that was like the big one for like a couple days. And then Wednesday happened. Yeah, dude. And then, geez, because as of last Wednesday, that was my lead. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, because I think I called Joe. I'm like, yo, did you hear this?
For the Ukrainian one?
No, about Charlie Kirk.
Oh, yeah. You know, you're the news guy when, like, you're not the only person to call or text me. There was a few people that did. And then actually, guy Matt that I work with called me and said, hey, he died. I'm like, he died? Because you called me and said, hey, he got shot. I'm like, oh, shit. And then it was like 5 minutes later. It was over at Stewart's, and I was pulling out, and he calls. And he goes, yo, you hear Charlie Kirk died? I'm like, died? I heard he got shot. And he's like, yeah, he's dead. I'm like, what? And then you text me a couple minutes after that.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Which the whole thing's fucking wild. Like, there's so much since then. Like, I wrote down a whole bunch of notes initially, and then not really. A lot of it was just kind of my thought on the atmosphere around it, not really what was happening. But then what was happening kept coming, like more shit kept coming out, and I just saw a news article before you came over about kind of warning signs beforehand that was like people knew that it was something was possibly going to happen. I didn't get to look into it, but so yeah, it just more and more came out. I ended up having a couple of short online debates, but I took more of a passive aggressive. Oh, I don't know. Fact check approach to a lot of them, where I'm like, I'm not going to go back and forth with you, but here's some updated information released. And I just kept doing that. And then there were videos circulating online about like who Charlie Kirk was. I'm like, well, I know that's not true. So I had to debunk some of those. And then just about every one of the arguments went completely silent after.
Of course.
Like, there's not. I'm like, I'm not going to fucking bitch back and forth and get into an emotional argument, because you don't get anywhere with that. Actually, you do. You get what happened last week. That's what happens for emotional arguing. So I was like, well, here you go. Here's actual information.
It's just...
Yeah, the whole thing was wild. So I guess I'll just walk through, like, everything I put down. But this is from CNN. This is actually something I used in one of my discussions / debates. I was like, well, this is coming from CNN, because initially what I heard was, first it was a leftist that did it. Had to have been. Like, that was everyone that would listen to Charlie Kirk's like, this has to have been like a leftist ideology, you know, it's someone from that spectrum that did this. Makes sense. Well, what had happened shortly thereafter, I'd say a day later, there was a whole bunch of pictures online circulating of this Tyler Robinson with like Trump T-shirts, things like that. I was like, oof, that's, well, I don't know how you're going to debunk that one. So that was floating around for a day or so. Well, much like news happens, like the first initial thing goes out, and then trailing behind it comes the actual context behind it. So, okay.
Yeah.
So there was one of like him with guns and everything, and he was like, what had come out is like, well, he was part of a very Christian conservative or Catholic family, and he was raised around guns, and he's got a picture of him in a Trump Halloween costume, and it's him like riding on Trump's shoulders or something like that. And then there was the Trump T-shirt. So the first thing that a couple days later, actually it was yesterday, the day before, had come through, the Trump T-shirt was photoshopped because the actual picture had come about and started to slowly circulate. And like, oh, it's just like some lightish maroon colored T-shirt.
Yeah.
And then someone just kind of like, changed the hue, threw on a
Adobe Art.
Right. So, okay, that's the first one. Then the costume was, again, him riding on Trump's shoulders, and that came from 2017. So I'm like, 2017, let's see, it was 8 years ago, which means he would have been 14 at the time of that picture. Like, at 14 years old, I'm pretty sure most people don't have any kind of political ideology. I know I didn't. I didn't fucking give two shits about politics. Him just being right-wing, all outright, that ended up being false too. But
So here's my thought. It's funny because I heard the arguments. I heard people saying, oh, he was a lefty, he was a libtard, liberal, trans, whatever. Then I heard like the people, of course, like you said, the whole sprinkling of right-wing kind of shit was, hey, here's a little something, sprinkle some crack on him. Open and shut case, Johnson. First thing that came to my mind was, well, regardless of left or regardless of political affiliation, he obviously had a mental illness.
for sure.
And whether he was left or right, he committed a murder
Yeah, I don't.
based on political. He performed this act from a political standpoint.
Right.
So whether he was lefty or whether he was righty, liberal, Democrat, Republican, conservative, doesn't matter. He chose to make a political statement by assassinating a political figure.
That's the thing is, he wasn't even really a political figure. He was a personality. He was a YouTuber. Really, what
Charlie
it boils
Kirk.
down. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
he was
I know.
a YouTuber.
He was an influencer.
He was an influencer, but he was a YouTuber. He can't make laws.
No.
He can't push litigation.
No.
He's not in Congress. He's not part of the Senate. He's not any of that. So this was just a fearmonger. This, specifically, at least in my eyes, and maybe somebody else has a different opinion on it or view, this was a direct attack on your freedom of speech. Because
Yes.
to me, this was a deliberate attack in order to make everybody on the right afraid to go out and say what they believe.
Anybody, for that matter. Because at this point in the game, so it's funny. Someone I was talking to about this, they made the comment, well, when does it stop? People are calling for this Tyler's public execution.
Mm-hmm.
Tyler Robinson.
Right.
Or Robertson. What is it?
Robinson.
Robinson. Okay, meet the Robinsons. They're calling for, like, there are people, like, openly on social media calling for this Tyler Robinson's political or public execution. But then people are like, oh, well, let the justice system do its job. If somebody kills him because he killed somebody, aren't you just making the act cyclical? It's just a vicious circle going around and around and around and around. Now, it's funny, I'm going to give you my opinion. I looked at them and I said, well, yes and no. What? How could you promote that? The most basic analogy that I got this person stumped and thinking.
Okay.
You have a kid. That kid's getting bullied. What do? You follow the proper steps. Tell your teacher. Kid tells the teacher.
Right.
Nothing happens. Kid keeps bullying your kid. What happens then? You go to the school and address it. And all of a sudden, this kid's got issues, so they really can't do much. They're just going to keep him away. But now, what happens now when that kid continues to bully your kid? What was the oldest lesson we were taught?
Eye for an eye.
Knock him the fuck out. That's how you get the bully to stop bullying you. And they go, I go, put it to you this way. I agree with both sides. Let the justice system do its work. Let the justice system do its job.
Are you talking about the response?
Prosecute this gentleman to the full extent of the law. He committed a murder. It was a hate crime. It was an attack on the freedom of speech.
I think right now it's at 61%. I just saw a poll about an hour ago. It's at 61% think that he should receive the death penalty.
Okay. Give him the death penalty. Let the justice system do its job, though.
Right.
But whether it was him acting on his own or if he was part of a bigger, like...
I think... go ahead.
Whether he was part of a bigger picture kind of motion.
Right.
Put him in the fucking place. Do something. Something's got to be done about it to say, look, this is what you guys pushed it to. Things need to be answered in turn. And maybe, no offense, let's be honest, I can speak from personal fucking experience with my situation from over a year ago. You remember that whole thing?
Yes.
The justice system sometimes doesn't work.
No.
Living scot-free,
yep.
Chilling, enjoying life, posting photos that are still affiliated with people in the local area about how great of a life that person gets to enjoy. So the political system, the justice system doesn't always work.
Right.
And sometimes one good turn deserves another. I can't tell you which way I want to go.
Right.
I see both sides of the fence, but I'm stuck on that fence with this situation.
I think a lot of people are.
When it comes to this Tyler Robinson situation, right. I'm stuck on the fence. I agree.
On how to deal with it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either let the justice system do its job. If he gets a death penalty, well deserved. Yeah. And if nothing happens,
yeah, I'm not sure.
I don't know.
You know what would happen if he did? Because there's the response from the left was actually kind of interesting. Because initially what you saw all over the cesspool of the internet, X, Reddit, things like that, was a lot of people celebrating.
Yeah.
On TikTok. And it was like, what the fuck? Where are we? Like, what? Like, I've never watched people on the right do this. Well, first off, I've never watched people on the right, at least in my lifetime, assassinate someone for shit that they were saying. I mean, I've sat here and just been fucking furious and be like, what the fuck? Like, on this show specifically, let alone just in my regular everyday life, and been furious at things people thought, said, things they've tried to push through, and be like, either in just because personally me, it was like, I don't agree with that, or because I look at law and be like, that's not the way this works. What the fuck are you doing? But to go out and like just off somebody,
you know,
that has never, like, you don't see that.
You know when the last time an assassination was celebrated? And when I say this, you're going to be like,
Obama, oh my God.
Really quick. When I say the name, it's sad that when you stop and think about the left and their celebrations for Charlie Kirk's assassination,
right.
And when you stop and genuinely think back in history along the major assassinations that people truly and genuinely rejoiced
in the United States?
Just in the world.
Oh, in the world? That's hard to say. Like across maybe Hitler.
That was the example I was going to give. Adolf Hitler.
I was going to say
Osama
bin Laden, but...
Osama bin Laden, who fucking terroristic attack killed 3,000 plus people.
But that was in America. That was still in Western.
And anybody,
Western.
Adolf Hitler over in Germany.
Right.
The world celebrated his assassination.
Right.
Or his suicide. They celebrated his death.
Yeah.
Because the world was better off without the fucker.
Right.
This guy was a father of two.
Yeah.
And all he did was try to get people to stop and think.
You know,
You didn't have to. He would say it countless times. You didn't have to agree with what he was saying, but either know your facts and come to an educated decision. And if you still feel strongly enough, based on what you've known and what you've gathered, whether you want to face all the facts or not, then that's on you. That's up to you.
Yeah, it's civil discourse, and that's what he promoted.
Yeah.
And what was kind of wild is the progressive left always called him, like, one, they said hate speech. He had hate speech. I'm like, wow, that's not really definitive hate speech. Like, he had speech that you may not have liked.
He may have said things that you hated.
There's a difference between hate speech and speech that is hated. A clear difference. And that gets construed amongst the left a lot. And there's one thing that they're really good at is just kind of lumping everything into one category and then serving it as that.
Oh, yeah.
Racist, Nazi, fascist. It's all the same thing. Anyone that's, you can't even say right. Anyone that's moderate or left-leaning moderate even, that's fascist. Like, they have distanced themselves so far from the regular person that when something like this happens, you go online, you see just slews of all these crazy-ass people laughing, giggling, and cartoon. There's already a shirt out, or there was, like, the day after, it might have been the same day, of a cartoon of, what was it? Debate This, and it was a cartoon of his head with a black and white, blood splat coming out of his head. Like, crazy shit like that. Like, what? Where the fuck are we? What are we doing here? Like, it took a day for that to come out, and then people started calling them out, and then they're losing their jobs, and that's a whole, like, thing. Now everyone's like, "Well, that's freedom of speech." I'm like, what's weird is that the left is really good at using the right's kind of anchor points against them, and it's like when you're dealing with a kid, and they're doing something to annoy you, and you're like, "Stop that! What? You know what you're doing? Knock it off." That's what the left does on this grandiose scale. Oh, it's freedom of speech. I'm glad he's dead. Well, you don't want to attack my freedom of speech. I'm like,
so then I should be able to sit there and wear a shirt that celebrates the Holocaust, celebrates slavery, celebrates pedophilia, celebrates sexual assaults. I should be able to walk through the streets.
The problem is
wearing these shirts because it's a freedom of speech.
You've seen the movements that have tried to come through in the last few years. Half of that stuff would probably be celebrated. You'd have people celebrating along with you. And that's the fucked up part. But what I was saying to begin with is the response from the left was kind of interesting last week, because, like I said, you had the extreme progressives, which not really surprised what happened, because one, I think two things. They see this whole thing as, like, yes, a call to arms, like it's go time, which makes it dangerous for a lot of people. But then two, we are in a society where everyone's online on a computer and nothing is real. Like, obviously, these people are real. They're doing real things. Charlie Kirk is a real person. Mm-hmm. But when you're sitting at your desk looking at the screen or on your phone, you're watching a show. Everything is a show. So these aren't real people. So there's no weight behind it. What had happened, there's no weight. To them, there's no weight behind it. Especially because they didn't agree with anything he said. So it didn't matter. What had happened is like, oh, geez, something happened. It's like my least favorite character on a soap opera just got knocked off. Hooray. That's kind of the way I believe that they perceive this. Like, it's not a serious thing, because it didn't happen to them. The other thing that happened, which kind of surprised me, there was a lot of people, and some of them I question, and I'll get to why, but there was a lot of people on the left, Democrat, liberal, but liberal is their own thing, that kind of stood their ground and be like, this is ridiculous. Like, we're done with this. This can't happen. Like, Charlie Kirk, and a lot of people said it, I may disagree with what he says, but he was a father. He had kids. His 12-year-old saw that. They were both there. All of them were there. The kids were right there. His wife was right there. They all witnessed it happen. That older girl will never forget that. She was there when that happened.
Yeah.
All this has to stop. And in that, I was like, that's the breaking point we're at. this was kind of a watershed moment. And I don't mean kind of, I mean it really was. Like, this is a moment in history where it goes and just arcs. It just completely shifts direction.
Okay.
This was a watershed moment. The question is, was this a watershed moment? Is this the end of a dark chapter, or is this the start of an even darker chapter? I don't know. Because everything that you saw online after all this happened was from the right, from maybe it could be anybody, classic libertarian, the right. And this is where I went. I walked out after what had happened that day. I came home, did dishes, was watching everything, like news articles, came in here and sat and just brought up a couple live streams. And I was watching this chat, the chat feed in these live streams. And it was just war. This is war. Now it's art. I'm like, oh boy, this isn't good. That's not good. And I'm like, this. It almost to me seems like this is what the left. When I say left, I say extreme progressive left, because that's what this initially is. Like, I know a lot of people on the right are guilty of the same thing as the people on the left. A lot of people on the right go, oh, liberals. It's like, it's not fucking liberals. It's not the classic definition of liberals, because there's a lot of them out there, and they are very much like, I mean, the fucking conservatives and liberals got fucking President Trump into office this time around. So it's not liberals. It's the progressive extreme left. A lot of them, I feel like, want to push the right this much to get them to do something so they can once again fall into the category of, look, we're the victim. See what they're doing to us? This is why we had to act. Basically, you slap somebody and wait for them to hit you back and then go, officer, he hit me. The abusive wife thing. Right?
Yeah.
That's what we're looking at right now. What's really wild is that for years, I haven't even gotten to the article yet. For years, all we've heard across the board is fascists from the left towards the right, or really towards anybody that just disagrees with it. I shouldn't call it the right anymore, because that's what it's become, especially in the last year. The proud left has called anybody else fascist, Nazis, racist.
If they don't agree with them.
Right. Let's focus on the fascist thing, okay? Over that time, just fascist. You're a fascist. You're a fascist. You're a fascist. And the right is constantly like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, we have a certain set of rules. We follow those rules. You're not following them. Now we want the justice system to do its thing, whether it works or not. That's what we want them to do. So you're a fascist. So what happens? The left riots. And riots and protests. We see it all over, and then
people get murdered, businesses get burned.
Right.
Yep. Okay.
I mean, we saw that in
Summer of Love.
Summer of Love. We saw it in May of 2017 when they firebombed St. John's Baptist Church and the White House and forced Trump into a bunker there. Then they called him Bunker Boy, and then that was the whole thing. And then the Summer of Love riots and all that because of George Floyd. And then going beyond that, like the whole mask thing, like, oh well, you're not going to get vaccinated, then, well, step aside, Wheezy, or whatever the fuck Jimmy Kimmel said. Shit like that. Pretty much dehumanizing everyone that was on the right at that time. And now it's just grew into this, like I said, everyone that's outside the little circle. So that was the whole thing. That was over and over and over and over. And now we've reached a point where we had, well, in the last 6 months, illegal immigrants murdering people. And that was like, that's where Trump was finally like, okay, we have to do something. All these riots and everything are going on, and local authorities in some of these cities aren't even doing anything. Yeah. So what's he do? He moves in military. Yep, and a lot of people, including the people in these cities, are like this. If they interview people down in New York City now, they're like, something's got to be fucking done because nothing is being done here. So Trump decides, okay, we're going to move military in. So he moves military in to start cleaning up the acts, just deal with criminals and everything like that. And what's the left do? Be like, I told you he's a fascist. He's fascist right there. Look at that. Then what happens is it boils over into the Charlie Kirk incident last week. And now, when all these people are celebrating it online and getting canned from their jobs, Now they're saying, well, it's our freedom of speech being taken away because we can't celebrate the way we want to, whatever it is. Now you can make an argument for that all you want, that's fine. But it's like what has happened is the left has screamed fascist so much that they gotten to the point where the right is at this weird crossroad. Now the right is at this position where they go, you have half of them going, this is war, I'm strapped and ready to go. And then the other one, like you said to begin with, is we let the justice system do its thing. This is the crossroad. It's funny how this kind of led into what you said.
Yeah.
This is a crossroad we're at, right? Here's the thing. If we, first off, the Civil War thing, I don't know how that starts. I don't know how it ends. Like we've said before, and a lot of people have said, we're kind of already in this soft civil war. We really are. It's never going to be North versus South like it was.
No.
You know, and it's something completely different. And now it's a war of information. It's a war of narrative. And so in that aspect, we've been in it for, 8 years?
Yeah, a while.
At least. And this whole guns thing, no. Like, I don't know. I don't know how that looks. I don't think anybody does. We can make vague predictions, which we kind of have in past shows. And some of this stuff, I mean, we called this over a year ago and things have happened. I kind of wish we hadn't, but... And then there's the other aspect where you say we have to let the justice system do its thing, which included in that, at least what I'm talking about included in that, is letting the military come in and do its thing.
Yeah.
What's funny is that in doing that, what will happen is everybody that's not in that circle of progressive left will be like, yes, come in and help us, creating the fascist state, which is brought in by the right and liberals and moderates in response to what the progressive left has done. So in this weird, ironic kind of way, the left has brought in the fascist state, and then welcoming it in is the right, because of what the left has done.
But here's the thing. To call it like fascism or being in a fascist state, it's not like...
I shouldn't say by definition. What I should say is by optics, because Trump is the one that's actually assigning all this to happen. He's the one saying this is what you have to do to the military, which he has power over the military. And then what the military is not supposed to do is, operate within certain jurisdictions, smaller jurisdictions. But they are, because those jurisdictions aren't doing anything. So in certain, which we've covered before, which in certain cases during civil upheaval and everything like that, he has the right to do. But the optics of it is just that. A fascist state.
But
so
is it really?
That's what I mean. It's the optics of it. It
doesn't
even necessarily mean it is, but to the left it will appear, or at least that's what they will use that image
They'll
as.
try to use it like
yes,
that. But that's not what it'll even appear as to any normal same thing in person.
But that's what I mean. Is the left will see that and be like, I told you this is what he's doing. And to the I shouldn't say uneducated, to the person...
No, to the uneducated, you're right.
No, to the person that doesn't know any better in regards to something like that, they're going to look at that and be like, oh my God, that is a fascist state. It's almost like this whole thing is by fucking design.
Yeah, but hold on. No. You want to say person who doesn't know any better. No. Uneducated is the best way to put it. Because any sane thinking, logical human being who sits there and goes, okay, he's calling the government in because nobody's doing anything about the crimes that are happening.
Right.
What is the military coming and doing? They're coming in, cracking down on the crime. No one's walking up to my doorstep saying, hey, you've got to be to work. Hey, you're not dressed appropriately. Hey, your yard isn't taken care of. You're not paying attention. Nobody, by definition, a fascist state means the dictator can send anybody in, any law enforcement, any military agency into a district and enforce any and all rules that they impose.
Right.
Now, he's not sending them in there to, some of these crazy, stupid laws. You ever hear about those? Like in Alabama, you can't hit your wife with a stick more than an inch in diameter.
Yeah, I think in Oklahoma you can't make I think it's like you can't put like a. Oh, what the fuck is it? No, I can't. There's certain states like you can't have an apple pie on Sunday in the window. I think in Nevada or something you can't hunt for whales in one of those like.
Yeah, in like the middle of the country in Nevada or some shit.
Yeah.
So, by definition, a fascist state, even by optics, anybody who sits there and says, the left is right, he's sending them in here and they're going to control us. Stop controlling me. Sir, I'm arresting this guy who's trying to rape your daughter. Stop controlling me. If you can sit there for 2 fucking seconds and think the left is right based on that analogy, you're fucked. Get the fuck out.
Fair point.
So, that being said...
Unless you're legal.
But no, legal or illegal, get the fuck out. If a man or a woman is being assaulted, mugged, murdered, raped, whatever the case may be, in a public subway, and the police officer's like, well, my governor said I can't do anything about it.
But that happens.
And the National Guard comes in and says, fuck you, kicks the motherfucker in the head and says, now you're going to jail.
Right.
No. By optic, in order for even the person to consider that the left is right, the government, the military, National Guard, whatever, has to come in and be exactly that. A fascist driven agency or enforcement.
Right.
Where they enforce woman on the left side, kids off the street by 8. That's a fascist state.
But what I'm saying, okay, well, I'll give you the uneducated, fine. But there's people that don't watch the news. I rarely watch it. I mean, they'll see something like Charlie Kirk or like the attempt on Trump, last year. They'll see things like that because you can't escape things like that. But a lot of this stuff you won't see. Like most people, probably there's a lot of people that have no fucking idea who Charlie Kirk is. Like I do. Yeah, we do because we're in that scene. But they're not going to have any idea about that. And they're not going to have any idea. It's like, what's fascism? Like they couldn't define it. They just like, well, I think it's something bad. Because a lot of people are throwing it around like they do Nazi and everything else. But they're not going to know what the hell they're talking about. Until they say, look, Trump is marching. And this is actually where I was talking about debunking during debates. This is where this comes in. They'll show clips of like military entering cities and things of that nature. And be like, look, he's bringing the military in to actually take over these cities and like his rule. That's where that stuff will come in. That's where they'll go, look, we told you he was going to do this. We told you he was going to bring military, and we told you he was going to end up ruling, and he's going to go for his 3rd term.
Yeah, but even if that's the case, the left wants to try that.
Right.
You're going to tell me now. I'm probably answering my own fucking question with this one, but here goes. You're going to tell me that the layperson who has no bearing on political...
I'm trying to give the benefit of the doubt. But go ahead.
You're telling me that a person with no bearing on any political anything,
news,
anything,
let's call it news,
going on in the world today, like the person who says, you know what, I don't like voting because I've never trusted the process and I don't know anything about these. Even that person, if the left goes, hey, you who knows nothing about it, see what this guy is doing, he's a fascist.
That works.
That person. I would like to think
it's stupid, but that works.
With everything going on today,
right?
A person would go, why?
That, and
I've been giving the people of this country the benefit of the doubt that enough of them are going to go, well, how?
But
how is that fascist?
That's the thing. And it's stupid because you would think a lot of people just would simple question things. And this is where conspiracy theorists come in. Because conspiracy theorists just simply ask questions of why or where is that from?
Where, when, who, what, where, when, why, and how?
It could be any one of those questions. And that's just question things. And like that's the most vital and important thing to be an American or any citizen of any country. Unless you're under a dictatorship or fascism. But simply question. What I did with Trump when it came to the Epstein list, which I'm still fucking pissed about. when he was like running and running and running and running, and then I was like, man, he's doing these great things, and then he suddenly shifts and be like, oh, there's nothing there, we're just moving on. Like, hold the fuck on. Like, I and a lot of other people...
Pump the hate brakes, Pinkie Pie.
They held his feet to the fire and be like, what the... No. You can't just fucking do that. Because we question. Like, wait a minute. That just makes you look guilty. It makes you look complacent for this.
Yeah.
But that's what you do. You question. But that doesn't happen. And all you have to do is watch anything over the last year, 2, 5, 10 years... That doesn't happen on a grandiose scale. Now, I will say this. After COVID, that group of people that went, hold on, why? Grew
exponentially.
Yeah. I mean, it grew huge.
I'm going to throw an idea out here. And tell me what you think. I personally believe that was the prime directive of the prime objective or the most hoped for goal out of the assassination of Charlie Kirk.
What?
To get people not to ask why. Not to ask the questions.
I think that falls...
Look what happens when you ask the questions.
Yeah. I think that falls in line with what I said. Is like that tried to get people... I said the right, but we'll say just people to stop talking. Stop engaging in civil discourse. Stop engaging in just conversation, which includes questioning. Like, why?
I want us to try something. See if we can do it for the rest of this podcast.
Yeah.
No more left and right. Extremes, the extremists versus the normies.
Well, that's what I try to do when I say prog left, because that's what it is.
Well, no, we won't even call. Don't even put the left definite.
Okay, I'll say progressives.
Not even progressives. Normies. We'll just call normies. Extremists, normies. Because normal people nowadays are the people who are being progressive, who are asking the questions, whether you're left, right, straight, gay, up, down, in, out.
I don't know how that's going to work in some of this one. Because I'm not talking about Nazis or KKK, which would be the extreme right. We're talking about the complete Nazi.
Refer to them all as extremists, though, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
If we can't identify the people that go to that extreme, we have to put a label to them, like extreme left, extremist. Because at some point, like you were saying earlier, there are even some people who are on the left were like, enough's enough, we got to stop this.
Right.
So there are normal people on both sides of the fence. And like you were saying earlier, there's extreme people on the right, there's extreme people on the left.
Right.
So let's just try it. Let's see what happens. Let's try. Let's just slide it on.
It's a weird role-playing thing. I don't know.
Yeah. That's right.
I don't remember what I was saying now. Oh, jeez.
You see it.
Oh
no, you can see it in your periffs.
Now I do. Now that you say it. So stuff that's come out. Well, this is as of a couple days ago. There's a recap of things that they've learned since he was caught, and then after this, which probably wasn't in this, but have come out after. I'll add on in the end. I'll run through these. Like, held on several charges of aggravated murder, felony discharge of a firearm, and obstruction of justice, but has yet to be formally charged. Utah County Attorney Jeff Gray plans to file charges on Tuesday, according to a statement. The office said it is currently reviewing evidence. Also on Tuesday, the suspect is suspected to make his first court appearance. Investigators caught him by his father, recognized the young man as his own son when police released the photos yesterday, as of Thursday. Law enforcement officials told CNN, after confessing to his father, the suspect said he would rather kill myself than turn myself in. His quotes. A law enforcement official briefed on the investigation said, a family friend ultimately contacted authorities, which was actually his, the family priest, I believe. Mm-hmm. The suspect is a third-year student of electrical apprenticeship program in Dixie Technical College, Utah Valley University, where Kirk was killed. Discord, the group chat app, said its investigation found no evidence the suspect promoted violence or planned the shooting on its platform. Earlier, Utah Governor Spencer Cox said the suspect's roommate showed authorities messages on the app from the suspect. So this stuff had just come out a couple days ago, but that was built on.
What was the guy's name again?
The roommate? I don't know.
Something Cox.
Oh, God. Spencer.
Was he a doctor by any chance? Dr. Cox.
Bullet casings.
Cox.
The phrases engraved on
Yeah, I heard
ammunition
about
referred
this.
to video games, an anti-fascist song from
Oh,
Italy.
God, I have an opinion on that. Go ahead.
According to an expert, none of the inscriptions or statements or symbols related to transgender people. Despite earlier reports, they express transgender ideology, which that can be debated. All right, 911 calls. Okay, that was stuff that they had found as of a couple days ago. But like I said, more have come out since then. And as soon as they went, hold on, I think in this article is why I took this article, is because they had everything that was engraved on the casings. Okay.
Well, while you search, it's funny that you brought up the video game
There it
part.
is.
I heard about that, and I'm like, oh, fucking great. It's the 90s all over again, where they're going to go after video games. Video games bad, okay?
I mean, they've been doing that for a long time. We just covered Roblox a few weeks ago, So the casings. One was "Hey Fascist, Catch," and that was the one with the upright down, 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 which is the Hell Bomb or the Hell Divers 2 500 kg.
Yeah.
So as soon as I saw, or actually, I was listening to the press conference. I was at work, and I was waiting for, actually, Tim Pool went live. So I went on, I was listening to the press conference, and he was going through, talking about the things, and I think it was the second to last, or last thing he said was like, "Hey, fascist, catch." And then he goes, arrow pointing up, arrow pointing right, arrow pointing down, arrow pointing down, arrow pointing down.
There.
And I'm like, that's a 500K. I was like, fuck me, they're going to bring Helldivers into this? Luckily, I haven't checked in a few days, but some of the streamers, like, they just outright said, I'm not talking about world events that are going on right now. They just kind of left it alone. And I hope Helldivers just distance themselves from the whole thing. Like, don't just leave it. They're just like, nope, nothing to do with us.
Nah. Put a cloak in there for Charlie Kirk.
Hey, fascist, catch. Yeah, so at the news conference, interpreted this message straightforward. Yeah, as a straightforward message. I think that speaks for itself, he said. But it also could be a reference to, which it is, a reference to Helldivers, which itself is a satirical commentary on fascism as something that player says when they drop a bomb. I don't know anybody that's really said, "Hey, catch," when they threw it.
Yeah, no, I've never heard that.
And not as like a regular thing. I'm sure people have said it, but not as like this regular thing. I don't. What do I know, though? I only have 1,017 hours into it, and I don't fucking know. What was that, Bella Ciao? Not exactly a meme's phrase, refers to the Italian fascist song from World War II. And then the notices bulge, capital O, lowercase w, capital O. What's this? Question mark. This meme comes from a furry subculture and is reference to a role player cringy flirting. That's from 4chan. That's from like the furry culture in 4chan.
What was it again?
Notices bulge.
O-W-O.
It's like the furry mouth or whatever the hell, like that. Like what the fuck is that cartoon?
Woo?
No, it's on, the characters were on. I think it's Jake and whatever, they're on. Was it Happy Time or Playtime or whatever the fuck it is? They're on Brawlhalla. The characters, remember? It's got the dog. It's got the stretchy limbs and whatnot.
Oh, Adventure Time?
Yes, Adventure Time. That's what it is. You know how the dog's got like the weird like.
Oh,
that's what it's supposed to be. Okay, and the two eyes.
Jake the dog.
Yeah. Well, it's from that kind of furry culture kind of thing. Yeah. What are you looking up? It's fucking.
It is most often used to express warmth, affection, or a sense of playful naivety, similar to the emotion ooh, 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 woo, emoticon ooh, woo,
Yeah.
UWU.
Yeah.
Sexual connotation within the furry community, oh, whoa, is sometimes used during online chat and roleplay with a sexual or flirtatious implication expressing interest or excitement. Mockery or irony. Outside of the subcultures where it originated, OWO is frequently used ironically or sarcastically to mock those who use it seriously. It is a way to troll or make fun of the stereotypical cutesy language associated with role playing. Okay. Notice his balls. I get it, like the boner in the pants.
Yeah. Or just identifying the gender of whoever the furry is and whatever. Yeah.
Speaking of fucking identifying genders, I didn't realize until it was too late. I was on my way to parking the truck, and I'm driving. I'm sort of on a side road, and the driveway I had to pull up into is like a quarter mile up the road. Now, if I'm driving, I'm paying attention to the road. At first, I didn't see nothing, so I check my mirrors quite frequently. I saw a movement in my passenger side view mirror. I look over. Oh no, it's too late. Woodchuck. Now I have a triaxle trailer.
Ooh, ooh.
Ooh.
Yeah.
All I saw was no, and then so that's 2, 4, 6 tires with about 10,000 pounds on it. I saw, I'm like, oh no. So of course I had to go.
Well.
The trailer didn't feel it. I didn't feel it. And of course, like an idiot, I'm like, I'm gonna go check it out. I got my personal vehicle when I was done. Oh, you're having a bad day. Get well soon.
Did you put balloons on it?
No, I just kept driving. I didn't want nobody to think, wait, was that the guy driving the truck?
So, added on to the person that he sent messages to, this had come out and be like, this was an alleged thing at the time of that first article. But what had happened was he sent messages to someone before and after the shooting. So, and before I get into this is where my debates online came in. Some of them there was something put online by somebody, and like with those pictures and things I was talking about, and be like, oh wow. Boy, it's like, oh, it's the right that's done this. It's, it's with a gun and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, And I just let it go for like a day. Because I'm like, I don't know. This is like, I think the day after or whatever. I'm like, I don't know enough yet. That's why when this first happened, I said I had a whole bunch of shit I wrote down. But I didn't I was like, wow, this is the exact opposite of what you said. So I went on their argument they had going on with fucking everybody that was nobody like us. And I'm like, and I just slid in there and I dropped the article and be like, some updated press release from DOJ. Text to your discussion. And I just out. And it debunked pretty much everything that was initially said, the initial article. So Charlie Kirk's alleged assassin, Tyler Robinson, lived with a transgender partner. Okay. So who was in the process of transition. Source confirmed on the post.
So Tyler Robinson was gay.
Yeah, which neither here nor there, but this was specifically, and this article I added to this specifically to debunk the whole thing. It's like, oh, he was MAGA right wing and he went crazy, and like, well, no, we don't know that. And then turns out, well, no, he wasn't. And then immediately the argument shifted to, well, he was radicalized by the right. I'm like, well, fucking course he was. It's impossible. It's fucking impossible.
So, transgender partner, transitioning male to female.
That individual, who has yet to be publicly identified by the authorities, is now fully cooperating with the FBI on its investigation into the fatal shooting of the conservative activist, the sources said. The relationship was first reported by Fox News' Brooks Singman. According to public records, Lance Twiggs, 22, resided in the same address where Robinson lived. A relative of Twiggs confirmed to the Post Saturday that, yes, they were roommates. The family member, who asked not to be identified, said, hey, just took me back up to the top. Said Twiggs was the black sheep of their St. George, Utah family, but declined to speculate on a romantic relationship between the two men. She said she didn't know her relatives, politics or whether Twigs was transitioning to become a woman, but added that it wouldn't surprise her. The family member said she knew Twigs was brought in for questioning by police. The Post observed Saturday that no one was at the $1,800 a month townhouse Robinson and Twigs were believed to have shared. I guess that's Twigs. What'd you roll your eyes for?
This is fucking skinny as a twig.
All right, so the neighbor claimed 2 weeks ago that several people driving cars without the state police were seen going in and out. They did not give off any good off a good vibe, the neighbor said. Which, I mean, that could be... You could... I could stand in my kitchen window and be like, nah, I don't trust you. This is just some kid going home from school or something.
I don't trust you, and then I walk into your house, still don't trust you.
Yeah. So, yeah, Kirk, 31, was struck in the neck by a single bullet shortly after being posed a question on his American Comeback College speaking tour about transgender mass shooters. Quote, do you know how many transgender Americans have been mass shooters over the last 10 years? Asked attendee Hunter Kozak. And too many, Kirk responded. Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years? Kozak followed up. Counting or not counting gang violence, the Turning Point USA founder sought to clarify, which that is a huge thing because when they talk about mass shooting and gang violence, most of it is within, or mass shootings, most of it is within gang violence within the United States. I think, what is it, like 60-some%, something like that?
It's over the halfway point, that's for damn sure.
Yeah. And then Kirk was immediately shot after. As a self-possessed evangelical Christian, Kirk criticized the goals of the LGBTQ agenda, expressed opposition to same-sex marriages, and spoke out against transgender reassignment surgeries and procedures. But he usually spoke about the issues with kindness and empathy. He recently spoke at length to a transgender male about the process of transitioning at one point of his Prove Me Wrong pop-up question and answer events. That's the thing, too, is... I heard a lot about from the extremists about how he was hateful and he had racist rhetoric and things of that nature. And of course, like me, I've just, in an unfortunate way, I kind of was able to shine in these arguments because I'm like, it's not something I really want to have to do, you know, and be like, oh, great, I get to defend this dead guy's honor. But because Charlie Kirk was one of the ones that I would listen to a lot, because not so much because he was Christian conservative, but the way he would argue people in his earlier years, he was a fucking troll. I mean, he just was. He was an asshole. Like when he argued, he might have brought facts to the table, but he was a troll. Like, I would be the first to admit that. I'm like, yeah, it was funny, but it was a troll. But really, in the last, like, 3-4 years especially, he grew up. And he was really polite and respectful. Regardless of who... He would get heated with different people, but he was really, respectful.
Always within control.
Yeah. And I was like, that's the kind of arguing I like to do. Like, you let the other person get emotional and get all pissed off and everything they do, and be like, okay, here's the information. Do with it what you will. You can read it. Most people, when they... You argue someone, you debate someone who leans more on the emotional side than the information side, you could pose... And this is where... was it Yuri... What's his face? The fucking KGB defector from 1981 that came over that, like, hour and a half interview. This is where he comes in. It's like, you know, that's subversion. Somebody could be indoctrinated so much over the period of 15 to 20 years that you could have... This is a phone, and the other person will look right over and be like, there's no phone there, because that's how deep they are into this. That's what'll happen a lot of times. But the fact that it doesn't have to be them, it can be other people watching the engagement or reading the engagement online that sees what's going on and be like, this guy's fucking nuts. I mean, it's right there. And that's what he would do. And that's why I would watch him a lot and be like, that's the way you debate. You'd be like, I have my homework. I have the information, and if I don't know it by heart, I know exactly where to go to look it up, make sure it's reputable sources, and even in some cases, like I did bringing up CNN and giving that information to that one debate, like, this is from your fucking source. Debate that, because this is something that you pull up constantly. This is what the left-wing media, whatever you want to call it, is That's your information. That's your source. One of your sources. There you go. That's how you do it. So, in all this, that I don't even remember where I was going with.
See, and that's where like the normies, when I say that, that's where the normies should come into play and be like, that's where the normies would come into play, and they'd be like,
oh yeah, his respectfulness when I was talking about it.
They'd be like, okay, I might not agree with what the guy says, but he's not a dick. He's not being a dick about it. He's trying to educate.
Yeah.
I have my opinions. He has his. He bases his off this information. I base mine off that. At the end of the day, you know what? I'm going to leave him to his, and I'm going to do mine. It's the extremists that come in, like you said, they get emotional, and they lose all sense of control. And when they're not winning, it's like that. It's like that Family Guy. Yeah, Kevin Bacon was in Footloose. No, he wasn't. He was the main character. No, he wasn't. No.
But that's what it turns into.
Yeah. And I'll give you that. That shit's enjoyable to watch the extremists lose it.
It is. And sometimes that's more valuable and then just a civil back and forth. And with the two people that shake hands at the end of the day. Now, ideally, that would be the better way to do it. But sometimes in order to get people's heads to turn and look at the situation and then get information out of it, you have to watch somebody go up there and make a complete fucking fool of themselves.
Yeah.
And then get emotional because, like, well, this guy clearly doesn't know either what he's talking about or maybe just how to debate. And he's just letting his emotions fly off the handle and making the other guy look good. Even if it's just moderate information, you just make him look good. You just up his, like, fucking
like
stat
Joe
level.
Biden and Donald Trump the last election.
Yeah. I don't know what the hell he just said, but I don't think
Trump,
he does either.
Trump didn't really have to do much. He just had to let Kamala and Joe do their thing.
Yeah,
and then when it was Kamala and who?
Tim Walz.
Walls?
Walls.
Walls?
Yeah. With a
When
Z.
when it was Kamala and Walls, it was... I'm still here, but you guys want to watch what they're doing. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, and that's what really happened with both of them, actually, with Obama. See, Obama's still in control of it. With Biden and Kamala, and then Kamala and
Walz.
What had happened is they were so bad, and then even worse somehow after, that Trump was like, no, wait a minute. This is going to be hard for me, but I'm not going to say anything. And he did fucking brilliantly. He'd be like, no, they'll think their own. No.
Now deliver on the Epstein list, fucker.
Let them finish.
No. Mrs. Soon-to-be president, stop sucking at this job. No. Let her finish.
And that's pretty much what happened. But with this, with his transgender roommate, we'll call it. We'll just leave it at that. What had happened now, since, is they found out that...
What were the messages?
Exactly. Let me see.
Do they have them?
All right, hold on. Cox said that after the shooting, Robinson had chatted with friends online who noted that the person wanted by police looked rather like him and joked that it was him. The suspect wrote on Discord, a messaging platform, that his doppelganger was trying to get me in trouble, according to New York Times. Another member of the group suggested that they should turn him in for the reward, only if I get a cut, Robinson responded, according to the paper. See, this isn't to his roommate, though. There was messages to his roommate. 450 yards. It wasn't 4, it was like 150. Tyler said he had made the 450-yard shot, according to this. He got excited about it, at least as excited as he can get. Never really showed much emotion. Well, that's not in there. Apparently, there was...
One of the messages was better get rid of this manifesto and exact copy rifle I have lying around.
Yeah, There was messages about picking up the rifle in the woods that he had dumped it, and it was wrapped in a towel. I don't know if it's a pink towel or something like that. It was wrapped in a towel, dumped in woods when he took off from the roof and jumped off the fucking roof. That was on, I believe that was on Discord and private messages to his roommate. I guess he was seen beforehand going to the event, walking with a limp because he had the fucking gun in his pants.
Probably the biggest thing he ever had between his legs in his whole life.
It wasn't even between his legs.
It was up his ass. I'd be walking funny too.
Yeah, according to the governor, his relatives were... Yeah, this is nothing to do with the text. It's just on Tyler himself, but... Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Sorry.
Can't find where it is.
It's all right. I mean, at the end of the day, do they have, as bad as it's going to sound like asking, they have like fingerprints, DNA, they have everything to validate he was the shooter.
Yeah, I think he admitted to it, but now I guess he's not cooperating with the FBI.
Yeah, because something probably told him in the back of his fucking extremist brain, I can do this and get away with it. The other extremists will help me out of this.
Charlie Kirk's alleged killer 22 exchanged joking messages with Discord and family during manhunt report. Resemblance. And then there was also a lot of people when the pictures came out from the FBI, like showing them. They're like, "Well, wait a minute. You look at a picture of him and this guy. It's not like the same anything." And then everyone's like, "Well, that's because the pictures were digitally enhanced, and just to show clarity." So I'm like, sitting back, like watching the whole thing go back and forth. I'm like, we're not gonna fucking get anywhere, are we? It's just gonna be back and forth and back and forth. No.
People are dumb.
Yeah. I know. Yeah, then I have the two directions thing, which I already covered on like where we're actually going with all this that happened. You know, here's more irony with this whole situation too. What's wanted all the time, or what's claimed to be wanted all the time, is we want discussion between the two sides, right? That's what we want. We want people to sit down, talk, and be like, let's figure out where we can come to amends with different things, and be like, all right, we don't agree with this, and that's just what it is. And they're like, not going to force this way or force that way. Moderation, right? Charlie Kirk, though he was Christian conservative, when it came to discussion, was moderate. He was a moderate conservative because he would engage in civil discourse. He would engage in discussion with anybody. He would set up his little pop-up tent and then sit down and invite anybody with any view to go and discuss with him. And he would debate with him. That's what everyone wanted. And that's the guy they shot. And in doing that, what had happened, like when I was watching like live chat feeds go on, I'm like, they just fucking killed the moderate, like the center,
the figurehead of this.
Yeah, that's what they wanted. You just now in doing that, you just pushed so many people that were moderate right to the far right, and anyone who was moderate left further right. I'm sure
there was some normies that now are extremists on both sides.
Probably.
And it's a shame.
And doing that, it's like you don't want it. Like I said,
2 steps forward, 3 steps back.
But not even that. It's really like it was almost by design. Like that's what they want. It's like, no, we don't want civil discourse. We don't want it at all. Okay, so where do we go? What do we do? Civil war? Fascism? Fascist state? What the
Nazism.
fuck do we do? Like, what? Where is the point? So the only way I think that extreme side wins in their eyes is if all of us from center, right, are just fucking either see it their way or are gone. Like, I really believe that at this point.
Oh, yeah.
I really believe that.
We can go back to the left and right thing. It was just worth a try. It's
Yeah.
like sex with a guy or girl. Take your pick. It's something to try. Different.
It's worth a try.
No.
I don't want to do it.
During the COVID thing, during the summer love, if you ain't with us, you're against us. Get out of the way. Go. You go to this state. Hochul. No, if you like it so much, go to Florida. We don't want you here. No, that's what the extreme left wants. They only want a society of like-minded, ideological fucking people who are sheeple and willing to say yes.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
No, left.
So I got emotional because I was pissed when it all happens here. I said, I go, people are extremists on both sides. I go, I haven't seen the far right shoot at Biden, assassinate left-wing CEOs, personalities, celebrate death and riots, tearing down city blocks for a cacophony of reasons, some of which are fucking completely contradict themselves. Case in point, the LGBTQ community, and then pro-Palestine. If they went over to Palestine, they'd
They'd
get
be
fucking
executed.
stoned to death. Make that make sense. It doesn't fucking make sense because this is
I hear if I'm gay and I'm go over there, I can get stoned.
Yeah.
Over here, I have to pay for it, and the high usually doesn't last long. Pro-Palestine, I'm going over there.
I think a
So
lot-
when do I get stoned? What? Ow. Ow. Ow.
Yeah.
This isn't the stoned I thought. Why are you shoving stones at my ass? I mean, I like it, but...
Hey, where you going?
Oh, shit.
And now, after all this, and I started saying this before too, and this is when I was talking about, like, the left talking about how they, like, reacted. You have the extreme left going, like, oh, we're going to fucking hooray and whatever. And then you had a lot of Democrats, leaders, personalities, the regular base being like, this is fucking crazy. That's when people like Jimmy Kimmel, Stephen Colbert, and Joy Reid, people like that, when they were saying things like, well, I don't know what Joy Reid said, but this is just name dropping. Jimmy Kimmel and Stephen Colbert specifically, when they're the ones that are crying on air, and they'll be like, he was a man, a father, and this and that, and yeah, he was, and maybe they were genuine, maybe. To me, I saw that as you saw the reaction of right after this happened, and like with the same thing I saw and everybody else saw. You, in my eyes, are trying to save face for what possibly could happen after this.
Oh, yeah.
As the complete and polar opposite when the pendulum swings the other way. And now you're being like, oh, we need to stop this. And I'm like, dude, Jimmy Kimmel, you were the one that fucking, during COVID, like I said, when you don't want to get vaccinated and you get sick, then you step aside because you chose your path, Wheezy, or whatever the fuck he said. It's like, that's on you.
Robert
You
De
said
Niro
that.
said some pretty crazy shit.
De Niro is just as
about
fucking
this.
batshit crazy as
What about this?
Oh, did he really?
Yeah, hold on.
Shocker.
What did Robert...
Yeah, and that's what I mean too. Is like now, like I put, strangely enough, the left is now talking about simmering things down and having civil discourse. Exactly what Charlie Kirk would do. But again, because they didn't like what Charlie Kirk would say, or maybe how he'd say it, they shot him, and now it's like you literally just killed that aspect of what you're saying that you want now. It's like what. Yeah. And what was it? Oh, Matthew Dowd too.
Oh, so there's no there's nothing that's been validated yet, but apparently De Niro went on to say basically comments attacking Trump,
Of course.
but there's nothing substantiated about him also making comments about when you push the buttons, Charlie Kirk is what happens.
No, but Matthew Dowd, what I just said here, he was the first one to become pardon the expression, but casualty of it. So MSNBC fires analyst Matt Dowd for the unacceptable comments about Charlie Kirk, right? They had fired Matt Downs for suggesting hateful rhetoric from Turning Point USA. This fucking thing.
He's the one who made the comment about, well, how do we know what it really was? What it really was? It could have just been one of his supporters celebrating firing off a gun.
Yeah. I was like, are we living in reality here? You know what I really hate? Modern technology.
Don't even get me started.
There we go. Turning Point USA co-founder Charlie Kirk led to his own assassination, two sources say, familiar with the matter told, blah, blah, blah. Okay. The network previously denounced Dowd's comment on social media. Quote, during our breaking news coverage of the shooting of Charlie Kirk, Matthew Dowd made comments that were inappropriate, insensitive, and unacceptable, MSNBC President Rebecca Cutler said in a statement. We apologize for his statements, as has he. There is no place for violence in America, political or otherwise. It's a pretty milquetoast response, right? A spokesperson at MSN declined to comment. Dowd joined MSN in 2022 after a long stint at ABC. After Kirk was shot Wednesday afternoon, Dowd suggested that it was caused by a chain reaction from his hateful words, air quotes, against various groups. Kirk, a leading conservative activist and top ally of President Donald Trump, later died at age 31. Before the news that Kirk had died, Dowd told MSNBC host Katie Tur, quote, we don't know any of the full details of this yet. We don't know if this was a supporter shooting their gun off in celebration, which is fucking, he said that, I was like, what we're fucking living reality here. I was like, okay, let's just run with it.
Pew pew, good job. Oh, I hit you.
Seriously.
Okay, Alec Baldwin.
Dowd said Kirk was, Dowd said Kirk has been, quote, one of the most divisive, especially divisive younger figures in this, who is constantly sort of pushing his sort of hate speech or sort of aimed at, what the fuck? His sort of pushing this hate speech sort of.
Let me try to read it.
Okay. Who is constantly sort of pushing this sort of hate speech or sort of aimed at certain groups. That's how it's written.
Brilliant.
Video clip after, so.
That was, if that's how it's worded, that was brilliant.
And I always go back to hateful thoughts lead to hateful words, which then lead to hateful actions. Quote, I think that's the environment we're in. That the people just, you can't stop with these sort of awful thoughts you have and then saying these awful words and not expect awful actions to take place. And that's the unfortunate environment we're in, he added. Dowd's comments were widely condemned in the wake of the tragic shooting, with numerous figures calling for his termination, which then did happen.
If that's in fact what he said, that was very, very tactfully done. Because I could sort of think you're an asshole. I'm not saying you're an asshole.
Sort of.
I'm just saying some of the things you say are sort of asshole-ish.
It reminds me of, what's her, PJ Souls. She played Linda in I think it's Linda in the original Halloween, 1978. That's the tall girl that constantly go, totally. I'm totally going. Totally don't do my homework. I totally always forget my books. Totally. She's totally coming over. And it becomes like a drinking game if you watch the original Halloween.
Yeah.
Like, by the time she dies in the movie, you're already passed out. But that's what that article reminds me of.
Where are my pants?
Oh. But that's what that reminds me of. But anyway, here's oh, no, not that one. That's RFK.
Yeah, if that's what he said, because then technically He didn't say, well, hateful words definitely, he definitely had hateful speech that was definitely directed at people of these certain groups and definitely caused his own death.
Yeah.
No, he sort of had hate speech. No, it was definitely speech that you hated. Well, I didn't say it was hate speech. I said it was sort of like hate speech. So I'm not calling it hate speech, but you can understand why people think it's hate speech because he's not saying it right.
Right. Let me see if I can find a
That
short
Downs
clip of
motherfucker
it.
probably had Downs. Because he was definitely Downs with the sickness.
Oh my god. Oh boy.
Syndrome of the Downs.
I don't know. My phone doesn't fucking work half the time, so.
Bleep that all out so we don't get canceled.
Dude, wait. Whatever.
Freedom of speech. Freedom of speech.
That's right. This it? I think this is it.
People to watch what they say today.
MSNBC has fired political analyst Matthew Dowd after controversial comments made during coverage of the tragic assassination of Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, and again, emphasize what you just emphasized. We don't know any of the full details of this. We don't know if this was a supporter shooting your gun off in celebration.
I don't want the fucking music, though. Like,
But following up,
Following up on what was just said, he's been one of the
Can't get
most
away from it.
divisive, especially divisive younger figures in this, who is constantly sort of pushing this sort of hate speech or sort of aimed at certain groups. And I always go back to hateful thoughts lead to hateful words, which then lead to hateful actions.
but following up on what was just said.
Yeah, he did. He said it like that.
People to watch what they say today. Matthew Dowd said the most despicable. But following up on what was just
He
said,
tried.
he's been one of the
I'll give him
most
credit.
divisive, especially divisive
You
younger
burned out
figures in this.
exquisitely like you should have, Matthew Downs. But, hey, A for effort. I sort of hope you go broke. I sort of hope you lose your house. I sort of hope your wife leaves you.
sort of. Totally.
Sort of.
Totally.
Sort of.
Totally, sort of.
I'm not saying
Sort
it
of.
should happen.
Sort of on a, but totally.
Sort of.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's where we're at now and then there was, I guess, initially, like right off the bat, this is before everything else just kind of came to light. You see, this goes along with Steven Crowder
Oh, yeah.
getting subpoenaed by the DOJ because someone from the DOJ or somebody around the DOJ had leaked to him first of everybody the information on the casing thing, like the writing on the casings, the transgender thing,
Yeah.
the Discord messages being leaked, and then he released it. He knew, like, I'm gonna release this and I'm gonna catch a whirlwind of shit. But with the climate we're in now, and knowing that shit might get fucking buried or news might get pieces of things, and he ended up releasing it. And then after that, just everything kind of came out, and that's where like all the information came out. And then I would be like, now hold on, let's look at some of this. Like, oh, he's MAGA. I'm like, well, there's nothing that says that yet with anything. And then that stuff comes out like, well, here's what we got. And then with the hateful speech thing, she showed me one thing, be like, this is what's going around. And I also saw it, like, I had a debate with someone I used to work with that said, oh, he shares hateful rhetoric. And that was another one where I'm like, how? Question. I was like, show me. Like, I'm not going to argue you this way or that way. It's like, what have you seen that tells you that he shares hateful rhetoric? So I got a compilation video. I'm like, okay. This is what I was talking about. Like,
I love the compilation videos. I mean, the ones that are edited.
exactly. I go, this is where it's my time to shine, because a lot of these videos on these compilation videos, like, I'm lucky enough to where like working on belts and shit, I fucking listened to and or watched most of these at least. So I went through and I was watching the videos, and he's talking about, and the first thing was like, he's talking about how, one argument was like, well, when I go on a plane, I don't know if I'm looking at the black guy, if he's qualified or not. I go, the DEI argument. Yes. So I'm like, so let's look at that whole conversation in context. So I went, and right before that clip, he specifically talks about is like, before DEI was a thing, I had never thought of any of these thoughts at all. But by definition, DEI in and of itself is a racist policy, because now it says we have to make check marks. We have to check a box for a certain ethnic group, whether it's all of them in one box or certain ones here, here, and here. That in and of itself, it doesn't matter how you try to explain it away, is a racist policy, because you are now overlooking some to hire another. Take the white thing out of it. If you have Asian, black, and Hispanic, and it's like we have enough Asians and blacks, so the next one has to be Hispanic, and you have certain people come in that are equally qualified across the board, but you pick the Hispanic because it checks a box, that is a racist policy.
Agreed.
It means nothing with white. Now, that was the conversation Charlie Kirk was having.
I remember
and then
that
he
one.
said, like I said, if it wasn't because of this wouldn't happen, because I never thought about it before. But now, because this happened, when I sit down a plane, I see a black pilot, because of that policy, I'm like, is this guy qualified? So that snippet right there was taken, be like, look, he's racist. I'm like, well, no, here's your proof. Don't know whether or not it was looked at, or doesn't matter, because I was like, well, I gave you, you do what you want with it. The next clip was, he's like, well, he called someone a chink out in the crowd. He's like, no, chink, whatever. I'm like, I know exactly what this is. This is 2017. I didn't know the exact date. I was like, this is like 2019, 18. It's 2017. I know exactly what this is. This was a Politicon, and he was in he was on stage with a couple, I don't know, it was like liberal or something else, but he got heated. This is back before he was like calmer. He got super fucking heated, which Charlie Kirk never usually does, to Cenk Uygur from the Young Turks.
Yes.
Yeah, well, he stood up and goes, I live like a capitalist every day, Cenk. I live like a capitalist every day, Cenk. And he got up and started pointing, and they cut it right there. So that's what it sounds like. So
Cenk Uygur.
Yeah, so I pull up the whole video, and then when he gets up and he walks off camera yelling, then the camera shakes around because it's a hard cam. They pick it and then turn it, and who's in the crowd pointing back at him? Cenk Uygur. And it's like, that was Cenk. It's like, I could fucking do this all day. It's like, and then what the argument was like, well, he has the rhetoric, like how he says things. I'm like, but the problem in that argument is the rhetoric is the video you just showed me. The clipped video saying he is this racist or whatever, that is the rhetoric. Not what you want to perceive as rhetoric. Not because he's saying something in his belief system that he admits right on stage and in discussions like this wasn't a thing before this other thing came in picture.
Yeah.
The rhetoric is you taking full clips and conversation, cutting it down to get some kind of idea out of it in your head that you want to push. That definitively and by definition is rhetoric. And that is the rhetoric that's being pushed right now. And I am like, not fucking today. And I started just going through. I thought about...
Hold my beer, bitch.
I've done this before. I haven't done this before, but I've seen these clips before, and I've sat here and be like, do I want to sit here for fucking however long on end and go through and disprove this shit? And I usually don't. But with this one, for whatever reason, I'm like, I'm not no, not today. We're not fucking doing this shit. Maybe it's because, like I said, like Charlie Kirk is one of the main ones, like Tim Pool and Joe Rogan, that would, like, Tim Pool's a little more whiny, I guess. Like, I fucking love Tim Pool.
Still love you, Tim.
Yeah, I love Tim Pool, but it's like, I think just the way he comes across, he gets, I guess whiny's a bad description. It's more like he gets pissed off faster than anyone else. Like, so I'm like, that's what it is. He's got a shorter fuse. We'll put it that way. So whiny is the wrong description.
And by no means is he commenting on the size of your manhood, Tim. I know it's huge.
But like, when
imagine that fucker literally walks in. Yeah, I have a small dick. What are you looking at? Just the tip? The base is back here.
Well, that's your arm. But yeah, so that's
That'd be the next rumor.
That's
We're spreading rhetoric about Tim Curran arm surgically grabbed to his genitals.
Cool.
So he has a huger dick.
That's like a superhero.
Huge is a word.
That's like a manga superhero. But
Manga. It's pronounced manga, for God's sakes. I'm going to ooh you.
he would know.
Fuck you.
That's not a flex, Charlie.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah.
Because I read the manga, not the fucking weird shit. Hentai, whatever it's called.
Whatever.
Or is that the cartoon? I know one of them.
I don't know.
Manga is the books. It's all like all the cool animes before they were TV shows.
Right.
Animes is the cool shit that you can watch without 100 tentacles going into different orifices.
Cool.
Hentai, I think, is the shit that's like the... I'm an alien who's really your sister and... I don't know. I don't know what's going on in these cartoons anymore.
You know, the Japanese come out with cool shit, but they come out
Fuck
with
yeah,
some
they do.
fucking weird shit, too.
Watch the weird shit, though.
I don't want to.
You have to. You know why?
No, I have to do belts. I gotta learn shit.
Watch the weird shit. And here's why.
I do. I watch
No.
politics.
Because when you watch the weird
Fucking-
shit, it's like...
Oh. My life's pretty
That's normal.
I get, yeah. Yeah, but I already do that with politics. And maybe that's because I've been involved with this so long now. And I'm like, well, this is fine. This is fine. Everything's fine. It's like that one, what's that meme or the cartoon with the fucking dog, whatever it is, or with the fire all in the background. It's like, this is fine.
I saw another one. It's a cartoon on TikTok. He goes, "I'm a muffin." Yeah. What? Do you want to eat me? No. Why won't you let me die? I was like, I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna send it to you. You're gonna fucking love it.
That's awesome. That should be a shirt.
It's great. Oh, it's like it's muffin time. Nobody wants a muffin. Somebody kill
You
me.
didn't do this today, so you have to.
No, I didn't need to.
I put hot
You
sauce.
fucking fed fuck the frozen water. Asshole. Oh, hello.
It just went up this nostril. It went in your eye, up close and personal. Yeah.
That was delayed. I was about to don't rub your eye and sniff it at the same time.
Okay.
Your brain can't process two things at once.
Bye.